Hey, Izzy here, and it is day 2 of Tame the Stress. And so by now, hopefully you have your list of 100 items or as close to it as you can possibly get. And today we'll be talking about prioritizing. So imagine a life without focus. I like to think of the word frazzled when I am not super focused. And when I think of the word frazzled, I think about if you let your scarf get caught in the door of the car and there's part of it hanging out, so this cloth, and the wind is just like flapping and beating this thing to death, and the ends are becoming frayed. Or maybe you just wear a piece of clothing all the time and you don't take the time to mend it and it becomes frazzled. Or maybe you just don't take care of your hair and it feels frazzled, and you got to do your oil treatments and brush your hair and all that stuff. So again, I think of not being focused with the word frazzled. Like a computer, like short-circuiting and being frazzled because you were trying to do way too many things at one time instead of being focused. I also use another analogy with a flashlight. So just entertain me with the thought, if you have multiple flashlights and they're all beaming fairly low, back in the day when you used to have put multiple batteries in one, and you've got a bunch of flashlights that are just shining really low beams, not a whole lot's going on with that. You're not going to be able to put them all together and get a strong beam. But if you were to take out and only collect the good batteries and put them in one of the flashlights with this really strong beam, you would have a clear focus. And that's what we're really hoping for prioritizing. And it does work. There's plenty, probably hundreds of books written on this topic of prioritizing. And this is also a big topic in project management in general and running a business. So why wouldn't you want to apply those skills to your life, so that you can get the most basic things done with ease? Instead of thinking about what all you have to get done for the day, maybe you spend every day trying to go, oh yeah, what was it I was supposed to do again? Or you're sitting there going, I know I was supposed to do something, but I don't remember what I was supposed to do. Instead, you'll have a clear plan of what needs to happen, and you're going to be pretty clear about that for the whole week, like what the priority is for the week. Now, right now, it might be a little lofty because it's going to be a new idea, but hang in there with me. So you have your list of 100 items. Hopefully you did that in a spreadsheet. Either way, if it's on paper, you can still do this too. So you can either draw a line down the piece of paper, or you can create that second column in the spreadsheet, and then you're going to list next to it whether it's an A, a B, or a C. And so A means it's super important. You have to do this or you feel like the world might cave in, okay? Or it's super important to you, and that's gonna go for an A. And so you can pause this video and go ahead and start labeling A's. Or you can do all of this together. B is still super important, but if it was something on your to-do list for today, it could wait until tomorrow. The world wouldn't end. And then C is something that's still really important because it's on your list. It doesn't mean that it's not important. It's still important, but if you had to postpone it or wait maybe even a week, or depending on the size of this item, maybe a month, you could wait, but you don't want to, but you could. And so prioritizing is going to come down to a few factors. Sometimes you're going to think, oh, well, this is really important to someone else and it needs to get done. And sometimes that's true, and sometimes it's just a thought. Or like it is something that definitely has to get done. So maybe you have some things on your list that's a daily to-do list. Washing the dishes every day is kind of important. So, that's probably an A priority. Versus reorganizing your bookshelf might be one of those C priorities. You still want to do it. It's still really important, but if it didn't happen, you would be okay. And then maybe saving for your next vacation that's a year away. That needs to be on the priority list, and then that'll be up to you whether that's an A or a B priority. And so go ahead and take your 100 items and go down and list A, B, C, and get those organized. So why is it so important to do this A, B, and C? Well, like I said, if you're not really sure what to do and you have a lot of those pause moments, or you have to keep double checking on the same thing over and over, and you're like, gosh, I wish I would just remember this or just write it down, this will help with that. But also it helps you from getting distracted. So if you're like me when it comes to courses, or how I used to be with a lot of certifications, I would be in the midst of one certification and then be looking at another certification. And when I have my priorities straight and I have my focus and I do my 12-week plan, which we will learn on day 5, when something comes up, you've begun to learn that it just goes on the list. You can wait a few days to research it, and because you might have, without the priorities, started looking into it, started strategizing how you were going to pay for it, and before you know it, you've spent hours looking at something that wasn't even on your A, B, or possibly your C priority list. It was a distraction that popped up. Now, I'm not saying that you won't remember another item that comes onto the to-do list, or life won't happen and new to-do lists happen. But in this example of a certification or another book to read, there's a lot of distractions that will come about. And this will help prevent you from spending an additional 2, 3, 6 hours on something that wasn't necessary. Thank you so much for watching day 2 of Tame the Stress. So now you have 2 items underneath your belt in your project management of your life. And so you've written your list of 100 items, and now you have prioritized everything by importance of A, B, and C. Tomorrow, it'll be more prioritizing, but in a thought labeling way. And so we'll have a thought labeling meditation as an option, and we'll thought label our list, which will provide lots of insight. And it allows us to really look at where our mind is spending a lot of its time and where our worries are spending a lot of time. This will give us a lot of insights, and then we'll also talk about later this week in our desires and how to really get the most out of this list and just get so much stuff done. So I'm Izzy, this is Tame the Stress, and I invite you, if you haven't yet, to join my free Facebook group. I also have a new package called Balanced Goddess, and you can book a free chat with me through there. If you are in Louisville or nearby and you'd like to get in-person services, whether it be life coaching for the mind, hypnotherapy coming up, body work with corrective therapy alignment, then we also have for the spirit, which is energy healing. So lots of services. I also offer a free coaching call with that one as well. And you can check that one out at izzynally.com. And the other one is balancedgoddesschat.com.